You're watching CustomVida.com.
What's up, people? This is the Custom Vida podcast, brand new for 2022 relaunch. And I'm sitting here with Mark from Impalas Magazine. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Rick, how you doing, brother?
Oh, doing pretty good so far, trying to get this podcast off to a new start, a fresh start, since we had to kind of pretty much put it on the back burner for the pandemic, but I'm bringing it back and with a new website and everything else like that. So, I just wanted to bring you on. We have, we're kicking off the Best of the West tour coming up, Stockton this weekend, right?
Yeah, that's correct, Rick. We the Arizona kicked off the tour for us. A lot of people didn't know that the Arizona Super Show was part of the Best of the West Impalas 2020 Lowrider Tour. So now we come back to California, and we actually come to Stockton this Sunday, April 25th, at the San Joaquin Fairgrounds.
You mean the 24th?
The 24th. I'm sorry. I'm 24th. You're correct, man.
Yeah. Oh man, all this time been promoting and everything, and getting the days still confused, huh? It's a lot going on.
Yeah, this week is a little crazy, Rick. We got a little bit over 500 cars already registered, and that's probably the most that we've had pre-registered in a long time. We're expecting probably about another 500, and I think that's all we're going to be able to take, man. I mean, we're going to still allow cars to come into the fairgrounds. We're just not going to be able to judge everybody after 1,000 cars.
Oh yeah.
Last year we got a total of a little close to a little bit over 1,400, and it was just a little too hard for the judges. My judges, they actually take pride in what they do, and they don't like to not judge a car. So, last year they really had to be on their A game and made sure that everybody got judged. And but it's not fair, Rick, when you're rushing through and you're trying to judge everybody. So I gotta be considerate with the judges too, and kind of work with what they can do, in one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so you had about 14 last year was like 1,400 entries in cars, and then wasn't it like almost 1,600 with all the other bikes and everything?
With the pedal cars, the lowrider bikes, and the motorcycles, we got a lot of motorcycles. They came, they didn't come to compete, but they did come just to kind of. We had some bike clubs, Chicano style, came with about 50, 60 bikes. They're coming again this year. They're not really not so much they're into the show and competing, but they just want to be there and be part of the whole raza, the whole car show scene, and the whole unity, just being together. So it's kind of a cool vibe, that everybody can kind of come together and get along. So, Rick, we don't discriminate if you're a biker, if you're a car guy, if you're a lowrider guy, or if you're a truck guy. We pretty much accept everybody.
Yeah, and that's something I was thinking about bringing up with you. I know that it's Impalas Magazine, but you're much more. It's much more than just Impalas, and people sometimes they don't know that your shows are welcoming to every variety of lowrider or custom vehicle and stuff like that. And What do you? I mean, how do you explain to a lot of people if they question like, what about my G body or something like that? You know?
When we started this magazine, about actually 10 years ago, it was just gonna be just you know Impalas only, and you know some people even said, hey, you're gonna run out of Impalas. What are you gonna do when you run out of them? Over the years, like I've told people, over the years, the magazine has always featured, the main features have always been Impalas, not just typical lowriders either. There's a variety, and you know it yourself, Rick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different styles. There's originals, there's low rods, there's your traditional lowrider, and so we over the years we've been able to feature different styles of cars in our magazine. But what I like to do, especially like when we throw our shows and we take pictures of who comes to our shows, is kind of like that's my way of giving back to the guy that has a G body or Cadillac or a truck. Like a lot of the guys from Nocturnal, Swift, a lot of the dub cars, they come and they support our shows because there's nowhere else for them to go and showcase their masterpieces. But
Yeah.
over the years, I've they've told me, a lot of people have asked, is there any way that you can put another, different type of car in your magazine? And like I've always said, if you look at the show coverage, I try to put everything else that's not an Impala. Once in a while, of course, we'll put the Impala in there from, whatever show. If it's like, for instance, this weekend, we got the Mothership coming to Stockton. That's a big thing, So of course, when we feature the Stockton show, we're definitely going to feature the Mothership, or Chris Rourke's car, or Crypto 9, or we're going to try to feature we always try to feature the headliners, the headliners or the major players that are at the show, but at the same time we always try to feature other cars that are different than an Impala. So
absolutely.
To answer your questions, we've been asked to try to, if we're going to come out with another magazine that's featuring other different cars, and like, of course, Rick, 5 years ago, we started the Bombs magazine, and we've been able to put the Bombs and the Impalas magazines kind of together. It makes it a little easier when, you're selling the book, or when people are buying. If you're a Bomb lover, you got to appreciate the Impalas too. If you're an Impala lover, you got to appreciate the Bombs.
Absolutely. So are you gonna run them? Are you gonna run a split one magazine, or are you gonna do separate magazines again?
I think we're gonna keep them the way we have them together. With the cost of the paper, with everything going up so much right now, we've getting, we're constantly getting notifications from our printer that the paper cost has gone up, and it's not gonna go down anytime soon. So we're gonna definitely keep the two books together. What we're gonna do is try to make the book a little thicker, so that we can give equal, both sides the equal amount of cars. If we're gonna do 8 Impalas, then we gotta put 8 Bombs, and then we gotta put 4 car shows in each side, so people can see, so that the book is exactly the same on either side.
Yeah. Nice.
And that's our goal. That's our goal as we speak right now, Rick. We're in the works with our next issue, which we were trying to have it ready this week. It just didn't come together yet. We're still waiting a couple of cars that we had to shoot, and some of these cars, some of these guys, they weren't just ready at the time we were ready. So we're still got a few things that we still got to finish in the book, and we just didn't want to rush. We just didn't want to rush it and just put out something just to say that we put it out, So we wanted to kind of take our time and kind of sit back and look at everything before we sent it to the printers.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to get back to, you mentioned the Mothership people. For anybody listening right now, if you're not sure what the Mothership is, well, you should. It's the 59 Impala, and it was featured in the initial commercial for the halftime show for this year's Super Bowl with Snoop Dogg. and it was the black
Yeah.
59. He's one of the hottest Impalas out there, and he runs that thing on the street and everything else. And just in general, it's really one of the cleanest. I mean, some people, you could say the color scheme, but for some reason that car itself stands out more than most. And but that'll be at the Stockton Super Show. So if you've never seen this car in person, I guarantee you it'd be a great opportunity to go see it up here in Northern California in Stockton.
And Chris Mill, that dude is he's a down to earth, humble dude, man. A lot of people, like you said, Rick, some people don't know who he is, but he was a NBA player in the in basketball. He's a true lowrider guy. He's out there. He drives his cars. He hits the switches. And he's been up here a few times to Northern California, but never actually brought his car and actually displayed it and put it on full display like the way it's going to be, this coming weekend. They're setting it up 20 by 20, and they're going to set it up in the main building with a bunch of other heavy hitters that we got coming.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of surprises this week, and we got a lot of top contenders that are in the low riding, world. The bomb truck of the year. We got the bomb of the year from Oldies. Yeah. We got the Dove truck, from Nocturnal. We got the lowrider. We were trying to get the lowrider car. We were trying to get Bobby's 57 out here, but Bobby's actually doing some work to the 57.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So we were back and forth, and he wasn't sure. He was like, "Man, we really like to take it," but right after the show that he just went to, they actually kind of tore it down and they wanted to redo it again. So they're getting ready. He's getting actually ready for his own show that he's going to be doing in June. So we weren't able to have the lowrider car of the year, but we got other cars that are going to be there that are just in that same caliber of competition.
Traditionals, right? They I mean, they got some of the. We got to remember traditionals. They brought in. They actually had the lowrider of the year before Bobby's car. And they've actually have. I think he has the record for the most lowriders of the year, right?
Yeah, well, he holds the title for traditional with Dark Side with the 1958 that he has.
Yeah,
and he also holds the title with his 58. The final score.
Yeah,
and then before the final score, he also had the perfect score.
Yeah.
So Chris Work. Yeah, so Chris Work, he's he supports us. He supports us as far as, what we're doing, as far as our car shows, and then being in Northern Cali, we have a lot of beautiful cars, but, Traditional Car Club is known for their top contenders in the lowrider game, so
circuit. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed to have them here, in Northern Cali, and we're blessed to have them be part of the Stockton show. They've been pretty much a part of the Stockton show ever since we started it. Nice. And, of course, we got travel team coming all the way up here from LA.
Really?
A lot of the guys that,
are they bringing
the guys from,
they're
bringing the big black truck, man. They're bringing that big black truck. Carlos is bringing the truck, and I know they're bringing, Orchard 66. Mikey's bringing his beautiful 1966 car that he has.
I seen that in Arizona, and all the new paint that he added to it. I hadn't seen it since he added the purple in there, and it looks really good.
Yeah, no, he's done a lot of upgrades to it. He's one of the guys that we've been trying to get up here to come up here and bring their cars, and but they're going to be showing. They're actually got I think they got like 8 20 by 20s in the main building, so they're going to be actually showing pretty good.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Man, I mean, I can go down the list of how many cars. So many. We got so many nice cars that a lot of people don't get a chance to see unless you go to Vegas or you go to the last show of the year. For us to be able to get those caliber of cars to Northern California, for me and for my guys, for my crew, it's an accomplishment. Because we're trying to put on the best tour that we can, Rick, and a lot of it, it's like you're at it, you're on the streets,
yep,
you're out there, you're always filming, and you try to put out the best quality that you can put out, and it's kind of like the same thing with us. We're trying to put on the best car shows that we can, so that the people can realize that you have choices.
Yeah,
You just don't have to go
absolutely.
to one. You just don't have to go to one certain, car show because you think that's the only show there is.
Yeah, the only
So
promoters and stuff like that. There's multiple promoters out there, people,
yeah,
and there's
yeah,
different shows. And you know what? I learned this a long time ago. What diversified, and one of the reasons why, I have now the custom Vida, and I was doing the Pinches Lowriders, but really, honestly, to be out there and go see different and more. So
yeah,
to realize there is a lot of different competition out there, and it's not always the same cars. It's sometimes it's some cars will go to every different show, and some cars go to certain shows, and it's all on timing. It's all on timing. But at the end of the day, you got to go out there and check out all these different promoters because, and it is good because honestly, I think you're going to be the biggest show up here this year, and I think you're going to do that with the Stockton. Um, it does look. I'm looking at the flyer. Are you having a hop?
we are having a hop, and what we decided, Rick, a few years ago,
Mm.
is we just want to do exhibition hop.
Okay. Okay.
So what I do is and that goes not just, I don't always pick the same hoppers. So if there's somebody out there listening that's a hopper that's in the hop world, just call me like 2 months before the show, and I'll tell you, if we have if we have an opening or we have spots. Man, I usually, what I do, Rick, is I usually just pay the hoppers to come and put on a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could be a 20-minute show, it could be a 30-minute show, but as long as they put on a hop and the people can see cars hopping and the kids can see car hopping, to me, it's just part of it. It's like entertainers.
Yeah.
We have them out there and we have them, hopping their cars, and a lot of these guys, they have very clean cars. And they go out there, they hit their switches, and they do what they do. So what I just decided is I just do exhibition, try to get 6 cars. Sometimes we have 5 cars, and we bring them out there and they do their thing, and they all get paid, and people get to see a car hop. Rick,
Yeah.
I mean, when we first started Stockton Show, we did want it to be the Northern Cali show where all the hoppers came to. But
Yeah.
man, bro, it just ran for hours. You know what I'm saying? And
the hop in itself is a whole different. It's like a second show within a show,
It is.
and you got to have
it is.
staff for that, and it just keeps going and going, and it takes time, and a lot of times when you have a big show, when they do have a big hop with it, you got to have like dual coverage because you can't do both. For me as a cameraman and video and stuff, you got to pick your battle, and but it's a great, because it's always good when they have all the hoppers show out, because then they're supporting. So definitely.
And Rick, and you know what, we might, we have other spots that we're going to go to throughout the year, and we might end up bringing back the competition where we can do the payouts, we can do the belts, we can do the whole bragging rights. But, right now, it's just because we got our hands full with so many cars and trying to bring in all the cars in. I mean, we start moving cars in on Friday, bro. That's how, like over the years, we've kind of got a head start on just bringing the cars in and trying to move in the cars in the ones that go inside. And of course, on Saturday, we have to bring in a lot of the car clubs that have a lot of their assigned spots already.
Yeah.
And then we also have to bring overnight security, so that people's babies feel safe being out there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we get a lot of calls, throughout the months before the show. And, we get asked, how's our cars going to be? Our car's going to be safe. And like we tell them, hey, the same way you leave your car is the same way you're going to see it on Sunday morning. And the security guards, we've worked with the same company for a few years, so we have good relationships with the security company that we work with, and they take pride in what they're doing and making sure that people's rides and their stuff is taken care of.
Nice.
And the last thing we want, Rick, is anybody to come back and say that something got taken or something happened to their cars. We definitely, that's one thing I try to make sure that we're looking out for everyone else that's coming and supporting our events, because like I tell people, Rick, and it yourself, because you're in the whole video scene, and without cars, you don't have videos, and the same thing
Exactly.
with us. Without cars, we don't have car shows,
Yeah.
so we want to make sure that a lot of the clubs that have been supporting us throughout the years, they continue to support us, because if you've never been to Stockton, man, Rick, it's like, I'm telling you, like I'm going to tell people, it's like going to a park
Yeah.
on any given weekend, and people just barbecuing and music playing, and just lots of beautiful cars with custom paints and
Yeah.
murals and stuff like that. And it just blows my mind, man, how big we've gotten from the beginning,
Oh,
when I
yeah.
first started that show.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, well, hopefully, thank God it's not going to be that hot like last year, because well, you had to move the show because of
Whoa,
all the
yeah,
COVID
man.
stuff, and we just ended up like almost 90, 100 degrees. It was
Well,
Stockton gets
the biggest
hotter
thing
than
that
yeah.
the biggest thing that stresses me out, Rick, is the weather, man.
Yeah.
In March and April, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's unpredictable. Like, I just thanking God right now, and I'm still crossing my fingers that the weather stays the way it's supposed to be this weekend. And it's supposed to be in the high 70s. And that's pleasant weather. That's decent weather
Yeah,
for
no,
us to be
absolutely.
out there in the valley.
Yeah, that is what we want to get for pleasant, not too hot, nice. That's yeah, it says low to mid 70s. Oh man, that'd be really nice. That's
And everybody can just enjoy themselves. That's basically, like I said, we're coming off of a Easter Sunday. We're going right into the car show scene, and for us, it's kind of cool, Rick. Like I said, the biggest stress is always the weather. The weather can
Yeah.
either make you or break you. Either it can be too hot where people don't want to come out, or it's just too cold and ugly. Nobody wants to come out and take their family out to a show when it's like that. So
exactly.
we're crossing our fingers, and hopefully it's looking good for us this weekend. So we're really excited, man, to be able to put on this show. And then
nice.
right after this one, man, we go right to San Francisco. We go right to San Francisco at the Cow Palace, and that's going to be something too special for us, because that's going to be all indoors.
Yeah.
And of course, Rick, when you do an all indoor show, you ain't got to worry about the weather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But,
you don't have to worry about how cold it's going to be out in the city, or if it's going to be hot or windy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
For us, it's something that we wanted to go from doing a show like we're doing this weekend to taking it to San Francisco and doing an all indoor show with the Comedy Jam, which is something that growing up in the Bay Area, I back in the days,
yeah.
we used to always have the Comedy Jam at the Shoreline, always the day before the Lowrider Stockton, the Lowrider San Francisco show. So back in the days, you always either had to pick and choose which one you were going to go to, So we decided that we wanted to do something with Paul Rodriguez, and it's been 20 years since Paul had been on tour, and we were able to get Paul and a couple other comedians, the whole, the ones that were on that are on the new Latin Kings of Comedy, and we're able to do something with them at the San Francisco show, July 17th. So that's going to be big for us. That's something different.
Yeah.
Outside the box that we haven't actually done.
Well, when you mentioned San Francisco, and we'll get back into entertainment in a minute, but are you still doing the Oakland?
Oakland, we had a long conversation with Oakland last week, and Oakland, I hate to say it, man, but they're really, really trying to charge us double. I'm not even going to say it, sugarcoat it. They want double. They want double than what they charged us last year to be able to do a show there after 20 years. And we're still, we're very undecided if we're going to do that or if we can even pull it off, to be honest with you, Rick. I mean, we don't know if we can pull off 3 shows in a row, and same, basically the same cars, coming to our shows, So right after Stockton, we're going to have to make the decision, or do we go to Oakland or do we just go straight to San Francisco,
I see.
And maybe bring Oakland back, next year, maybe, somewhere else where it's not back-to-back shows,
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing was this year was, we weren't expecting to go to San Francisco. We weren't really expecting to go to San Francisco. It just happened that the Cow Palace reached out to me and they asked if we would be interested in doing a show there, and I was like, well, we're already doing another show in Oakland, and it just kind of we were able to kind of come to, an understanding of what we were trying to bring. And, of course, they're on board. They're working with me. The Cow Palace is working with me really closely, along with all the lowrider clubs that are from San Francisco too, So, we're trying to work with everybody, and we're trying to make, a great show right there in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So that if you're from out of the area, Rick, and you want to bring your family out to the Bay Area and you want to come out and spend a weekend in San Francisco, you got something to do.
Exactly.
You got, you could bring the whole family, and you could be setting up your car and your wife and kids, and they're going to be out at the pier or something, or vice versa. Maybe you set the car up early and then you go out there to the pier and you walk around with the family, and you get to see different things that you normally wouldn't see, like in Stockton or Turlock or Sacramento. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a whole vacation weekend with the low riding, and that's the thing, is it's destination. I always call them, what I call them a lot of times, is destination shows. A good show that seems to be, something where you could travel to and you don't have to bring your car, like you were saying. I think that's very attractive to people when they bring their family and kids, and the kids ain't gonna be bored the whole time, or the wife or the girlfriend or whatever ain't gonna be bored the whole time, and then you have other things to do. So I mean, and I've even seen where like some people just leave their cars at the show and then they go do other stuff, and so I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? But get back to the entertainment. I want to talk a little bit about Stockton. So your concert, your entertainment. So
man, we got with this year, we of course we got Mariah Avalon. She's one of the big she's one of the artists that we've kind of stayed with for a minute because she's just a great person. She's got a great personality and she's a great singer. She's like she's like one of those singers that you're gonna hear for a long time. And we got Michaela Rivera, which is one of the her grandfather is one of the founders of Vijito, car club, and so we've taken a chance, and we're bringing Michaela up here and for the first time in Stockton, and then we of course got Baby Gas, and then we have Loomis.
Yes.
And then we also have, Joey from the Sinceres.
Yes.
So for us, we already had Joey before the pandemic, and just happened that right at the time we got Joey from the Sinceres, it just happened that, we had that whole lockdown and he didn't want to do anything, and I didn't blame him, and last year he didn't really still want to go on tour, but he's back on tour now, and we just happened to have him for Stockton, which is really where that's where originally I wanted to bring him, was Stockton, so we decided that let's just keep it to the original show that we were going to do 2 years ago with him.
Okay.
And now we just got him coming this coming weekend. And, to be honest with you, Rick, we actually got something that's, man, it's going to blow people's mind away. There's a new sport, and it's called chin checking. And it's just like the UFC was when it first started. People didn't really know how to accept it, but if you've never heard of chin checking, it's two grown men that stand in front of each other over a table.
Is it the slapping?
And they slap each other, bro.
That's a video. Yeah, those videos go viral.
It's crazy, bro. We have a Hawaiian, we have a Samoan Hawaiian person. His name is, they call him the Crazy Hawaiian. He's from Hawaii, Samoan. He actually holds the title for the US right now. And, of course the whole sport is barely coming together. You know what I'm saying? There's lots of people that are involved in it, and they're still trying to make it so that it becomes a real sport, not
Wow.
just not a fab or something, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we were contacted to see if we could have a few exhibitions just to show people what it's all about, and sure enough, I said, hey, if you guys want to do an exhibition, let's do something in Stockton, and we're going to do something. It's an exhibition. It's only going to be a few fighters that are involved in that right now. We're not trying to get anybody. They didn't get anybody outside that wasn't involved in it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just an exhibition. It's going to be, just kind of put on there on the main stage. And I'm curious. I'm kind of curious to see how it's all about. I mean, I've seen the videos, bro, and I've seen all the coverage that they've done over the last year or two. And it's amazing. It's just amazing how, something that you might think is not serious, a serious sport, becomes something serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's been happening for a few years, but I never thought they were really going to make it something serious. I thought it was just, something that that people do. But I mean, hey, whatever. If at the end of the day, that if it blows up, that's good. That's good.
Hey, and like with Chris Rock, with Chris and
Will Smith.
And Will Smith, that whole slap, I was like, wow, like when they called me and said, hey, would I be interested? I was like, are you serious? Is this just a joke, or is it actually, so they put me in contact with certain people and professional fighters that are actually in the sport right now. And, they're coming. And like I said, we're happy that they want to come in and participate in our shows, what we do, so who knows, bro, you never know. I've always said that I have other visions, about what we're doing. And I'm just hoping that we can just put all the pieces together eventually.
Absolutely.
and we can kind of do it where people can see the shows live, Rick. That's what I want. I mean, I know there's lots of people that stream, they do live streaming, and I've always said, coming out of this pandemic, so many people are still very skeptical about going out and being social with people.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of had this in the back of my mind, if we could somehow bring our shows to your home, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can watch it in the comfort of your home, and feel safer that, for whatever reason you want to feel safer, or let's just say that you can't make it, from the East Coast to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to be able to somehow, and it's just a dream of mine that hopefully we can put all the pieces together, Rick, and with your help and a lot of other people help that have helped us over the years, we can make it somehow a reality where people can actually see what we're doing live. You know what I'm saying? And just like you're doing the live broadcast right now, man, I mean, that's my vision with the shows.
Absolutely. and yeah, I mean, all you really, honestly, this is something I've thought about too, is if you had a broadcast van and then all you need is wireless, it's like a couple camera guys that are running wireless transmitters to the broadcast van, and then real internet, mobile internet. I mean, it's just one of those things. Eventually, you just got to figure out the budget.
We got a lot of different people. We got a lot of different people that are trying to, that want to jump on board with me, and like we got this whole cannabis talk 101. And they're kind of they're like a radio station, like a Live Nation station that actually does like live broadcasts at events, and us being from the Bay Area, Rick, we always have that. We're always the first to do things, like,
oh yeah.
I'm going to give you an example, 420s on Wednesday. San Francisco, is doing that whole hippie hill this year, where you're going to be able to be there, smoke, buy marijuana and just hang out and not be messed with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We're always the first ones in the, being from the Bay Area or Northern California, we're always, seems like, we're always the ones that sometimes come out with just crazy ideas. I'm not saying that LA doesn't have it or Southern Cal doesn't have it, but I'm just, for me, it's just been a dream that I've had that eventually, hopefully I can, network with the different people that we're networking and somehow bring it to live where, so that if you're not from the West or if you can't travel on this weekend to come and check out the show, you're not going to miss nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to sit at home, watch the show, talk to the lowrider builders of the best ones in the world, and also talk to the ones that are gonna up and coming lowriders of the year. So you know what I'm saying? And car clubs and just different founders and models and everything that comes along with our lifestyle, Rick.
Yeah,
like
and then,
that's my dream, and that's the dream that I know that we've had for a while. And working with everybody like yourself and working with a few other people, we're hoping that because we're going to different venues, eventually we can somehow connect all the dots, and
that sounds like a plan,
and if we can make it happen, trust me, man. I mean, that's something that I've always said I would have loved to see these, just come together. So that's what we're.
Yeah, I think you're onto something, because I think just mainstream at the end of the day, I mean, being able to maybe it's pay-per-view, or you could do what you call it, a subscription base, and have it so people can see, and then it'll be good for everybody, and then you just you put the vendors up there and stuff like that. But speaking of vendors, so how many vendors do you usually have at one of these events?
Man, this year we're actually sold out, man. We try not to get a lot of the same vendors, Rick. We try to be fair with everybody. We try to say, hey, I can't always help it. Sometimes we have two of the same vendors selling the same merchandise. But what I've always done is I've always told each vendor, hey, we have this vendor and we have that vendor. Are you guys okay? Because if you guys aren't, no big deal. Don't worry about it. I would prefer that they know that they're going to be there. But a lot of people say, hey, they're not our competition, Mark. There's enough business for all of us. So we try to get we try to get no more than 50 vendors, Rick.
Nice.
And people have always say, well, why do you always just take, some shows we can do 40, some shows we'll do 50. It just depends on how much space we have. And like I tell people, that's what we can take. That's all we really want. Rick, we don't want it to look like a food market. We got too many vendors and everybody does well.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah. Let's face it, with the price of gas, traveling, hotel stay, you know what I'm saying? People got to make money.
Yeah.
They got to make something, and if us as a promoter, gets too greedy and hits everyone and don't really care about if anyone's going to make money or not, then we're not even looking out for anybody.
Well,
So,
and then I found throughout the years and being in behind the scenes sometimes, and I've talked to these vendors, and the truth is like, if a vendor doesn't make good money, or they don't like if there was they just felt like they weren't, in a good place or anything, they're going to make it known. So, and they talk, and vendors, they talk amongst themselves. So at the end of the day, a lot of times two people, a new vendor or somebody's going to make an investment to travel to a show. They're going to ask around, hey, did you vendor the show? How was it? Did you make any money?
Right.
And the fact that you make it so that you try to keep the amount of vendors lower, so people make their money and get some kind of support. The reality is that actually does make it a lot more lucrative, and it also makes the vendors want to be there, and it also helps. So remember, spectators, go with a budget. I mean, not everybody has all kinds of money to spend, and we get all that, but pick up a shirt, pick up an item. There's other stuff there, and there's always going to be something maybe for your car display and so on and so forth. And I remember back in the day when I was just a spectator, whenever I could, I would try to go with a budget for like, $100, and I'd get like a shirt or a hat, and then I'd get like maybe back then you didn't have so much YouTube, so I was like, buy one of the show DVDs and stuff, you know.
You would give one of the DVDs in the days, but and you're right. You know, that's what we tell people. Um, a lot of these vendors that do travel, they might not, make a whole lot of business on that day, but they make over the next couple. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it, Rick. If you go to a show and let's say by the time you get in and you got your family, you might see something that they really want, but if you don't got it right at the moment, you'll at least call you'll call Garcia's Hats, or you'll call Luxury Wire Wheels and say, I seen you guys at the show. I want to buy, a set of wheels, or I want to buy some hats, or Pendletons, or whatever, So for me, it's one of those things where if you don't have a lot of vendors, and if you're a spectator, you're going to remember who you talked to. You know what I'm saying?
Then you're going to get that Instagram, link and everything like that, and, all that stuff.
And at the end of the day, you're going to say, well, I met you at this show. I didn't get it then, but can I get it now? And honestly, for me, I get a lot of calls, Rick, of different vendors that want to be a part of the show. But I always give priority to the vendors that have been coming to our shows. You know what I'm saying? And that's just out of respect for the vendors that have supported me over all these years that we've been doing the events, and that's going back from starting, started doing the high school, benefit car shows, for the high school kids.
Yeah.
Some of these vendors are still with me. Some of these vendors are still coming to my shows. And like I tell these vendors, I do remember that. I do remember those vendors that have stayed with me from the very beginning, when we were just barely doing high school shows for the kids or for the athletic department, whatever. Even I've done a few shows for the church, for the churches. I've done a few shows where I've given everything to the church, but honestly, this year, we really think that we're going to actually have a good tour. We're going to try to put something together that people can, hey, man, that was cool, and look forward going to the next city or the next show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's our goal, Rick, and that's our goal for this year, for 2022. And if we can continue to do what we're going to do this year, we're definitely going to keep continuing to do it as long as I can do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like I was telling you, for us, I got to give major props to my whole crew, that has been with me for a while and just helping us put together what we plan on putting together this year,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that, you have a consistent crew and everything, and and it makes every show flow a little better when you have people that are doing their part.
I wish, we lost a good crew member, and he was like my brother, man, Jose Martinez. Wish, he's here in the spirit, but I just wish.
You're cutting out again.
Accomplished, things that we had talked about, Jose Martinez was the founder of Low Creations.
Yeah.
Low Conspiracy, and he was with Lowrider Magazine for many, many, many years. And, when he was able to come with me and we were able to put something together, we just talked about going back to those same places that Lowrider used to be at, and I just wish that, he was here in person. I know he's here. I know he's here in spirit.
Yeah.
And, kicking the tour off without him is like missing a big piece. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And he's looking down on us, and I'm just hoping that, we can continue to do what me and him pretty much talked about, behind closed doors all the time, but yeah, Rick, I just want to thank you, for giving us the opportunity to come on and just, share a little bit about what we got going on this year. And
yeah,
I look forward to seeing you. Definitely seeing you out there this weekend.
Oh yeah.
It's
gonna be fun.
And like I said, Rick, if there's anything you need, please let us know, man, and we're always here.
Yeah, no problem. And then, once again, before we wrap it up, Sunday, April 24th, 2022, San Joaquin County Fairgrounds, Stockton Super Show, Impalas Magazine, the Best of the West tour. And, don't forget, get there early, enjoy the day, and keep it positive and everything else like that. And come, go to the vendors, check out the stuff, check out the concert. Definitely going to check out the cars. There'll be, there's going to be models and stuff like that. And I'll give a shout out. I have Angel Blue coming up from LA, and she'll be at the booth. And let's see, a couple other models, Candy and Chrome. And then, everybody else locally. But you're going to be able to see a lot of things, a lot of car clubs and cars that you don't see in the Bay Area. Stockton area out there in the 209, as they say. And, it's good to be seeing everybody that's always out there every year, all the different people in the car club and like anything else. It's another one of those yearly reunions when everybody makes it out to the Stockton show. So you don't want to miss out. It's going to be good. And thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming on once again. I'm just rebooting this Custom Vida podcast, but we're going to get it moving, and then, definitely have you on again. We'll talk more maybe after the show, and we'll talk about all that too. So
right on, Rick. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And like I said, I look forward to seeing you out there this weekend. And like I said, just come on out, man. Do what you do.
All right, brother. Well, I'll see you this weekend. I'll be there Sunday morning. And if you need anything else, just hit me up. And for everybody out there listening, thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you again soon. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
To see more, go to CustomVida.com.